everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse DC Direct Page Puncher Ghost of Zod. This is General Zod, but I guess a dead ghost version of him. This is part of the newest Page Puncher wave, which is a Superman-themed wave. I got this guy at Target, along with the rest of the wave, so let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, typical Page Puncher clamshell package. DC, McFarlane Toys, ages 12 plus, includes exclusive comic book in the English language. DC Direct, Ghost of Zod. Here he's in the package. Looks like we have a bunch of alternate hands, collector's card, display stand, and a comic. Not much going on the side of the package. The back, this is the back of the comic, and that is Superman, Ghost of Krypton, number 2 of 4. And at the bottom, there's his barcode, in case that helps anybody. So with no further ado, let's open him up. And I did pick up the entire Page Puncher wave at Target, including the Platinum Chase variant of Zod and Brainiac. Another wave checked off the list. Alright, now that we got this figure out of the package, here he is with all the accessories laid out. We have a display stand, collector's card, comic book, and then a total of 6 hands. Before I take a look at all that, let's talk about and check out the figure. So this is General Zod, but this is the Ghost of General Zod. This is basically General Zod in the Phantom Zone, and he has no corporeal form, just this sort of ghost-like entity. Now in the comic it's very confusing. He's in the Phantom Zone, he's a prisoner, he sort of contacts Superman, says they're killing us, help us, and apparently Brainiac's ship is in the Phantom Zone, and they decide to take over Brainiac's ship and try to escape. And then Zod finds a Brainiac or Brainiac drone and decides he's going to merge with him to have a corporeal body, and then essentially Brainiac takes over. But this version here is basically Phantom Zone Zod, which is a cool concept, although I'd rather have a more regular Zod, but they've already done that. And these Page Punchers are kind of weird out there looks, and I appreciate that. They could be some pretty cool designs. That being said, let's take a look. Starting with his face here. Now, first thing I think of, this looks like Beast Boy's dad. Interesting look, very furry, green. But if you get past that, he's got the hair out there that's not semi-transparent, but the rest of his body is semi-transparent. Looks like white or yellow eyes. Semi-transparent skin. I can't wait to see what that looks like in a black light. It's not glow in the dark. I already tried that. And then he has the sort of Kryptonian General Zod armor, but it's sort of broken. You can see half it here, damaged here. Kind of similar to Zod and Superman's armor, but not as extreme. Zod logo down here, this belt. Overall, it looks cool. A lot of sculpting detail. You can see the sort of metallic wash at the front here, black at the back. Paint's a little bland at the black parts. I can see a repaint really bringing the armor out, but as a whole, it looks good. It's a very cool, interesting concept, but it's a figure I probably won't use very often. A regular General Zod, sure, but Phantom version of General Zod, how often do you talk to somebody in the Phantom Zone? I mean, it's cool, it looks good, not very practical, but that's what these Page Punchers are, out their designs, and they did a good job, but man, it just sort of screams Beast Boy Senior to me. Still, it looks cool. I mean, look at that face. And a closer look at his face and head sculpt. Ghost of General Zod, indeed. Look at his nose. Almost has sort of skull-esque type features. The weird sort of color, semi-transparency. It works for a Phantom Zone type. You know, semi-ghost, semi-not. Sculpting was very nice. And here's the figure, broken down as far as he can go, with all of his removable parts detached. Now let's check out the accessories, starting off with the boring stuff. He comes with this McFarlane display stand. It's a black perfect circle, thin, basic. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's a replica of the cover of Superman Ghost of Krypton number 2. General Zod's on the front, Ghost of Zod. The backside, there is a description. If you want to read that, pause now. Now let's check out this comic, Superman Ghost of Krypton number 2. Traditional Superman logo, Ghost of Zod on the front, and I appreciate they gave us 4 different issues here telling a complete story. In the past, they only gave us 1 issue with all the figures. Superman, his blue armor without the outer armor on. Ghost of General Zod, looks very similar to the figure. Overall, Pretty cool story. Here's a look at Superman Ghost of Krypton numbers 1 through 4. Each figure comes with a corresponding comic, and I'm sure you can tell which figure comes with which comic. Now it's really cool, they actually give us 4 different issues, so we have a whole story to explain this wave of figures. The previous couple waves of Page Punchers had 4 different cover variations of the same issue. And before that, they even had the same covers of only issue number 1. Now we have a full story to tell. Now the only thing I think they could still do better with the comics is give the Platinum Chase variants a cover variant of sorts. They did that with some of the previous waves, but not this one. Just duplicate covers of Zod and Brainiac. Now let's check out his hands. He has a total of 6 of them, 3 right hands and 3 left hands. Here he is with his first pair of hands. These are his fists. Then, with his second pair of hands, this is a pair of gripping hands. Here's his last pair of hands. This is a pair of grabbing, choking, or throwing hands. I wanted to check out how would this guy look under blacklight. Now, whenever there's a figure with semi-transparent plastic, they usually react to blacklight. So, take my blacklight flashlight, turn it on, and shine it on him. And it looks very ghostly, ghastly. I like it a lot. Here he's with the blacklight under a fully lit room. Still a fully lit room, but the light not directly on him. The effect is fantastic. Then, under blacklight in a semi-lit room. And now, under blacklight in a completely dark room. And to my statement earlier, I was totally wrong. He does glow in the dark. Here he is, charged up with a blacklight flashlight, glowing in the dark in a fully lit room, and glowing in the dark in a semi-lit room, and then glowing in the dark in a fully dark room. Pretty cool effect. It looks a little bit more green in person than on camera. Now they've taken a pretty good look at the figure and his accessories. Let's check out his height. Bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 7.3 inches tall, which can translate to 18.5 centimeters. And for his articulation, starting with his head, of course, it can rotate from side to side. He can look up, not too much, but down quite a bit. Can tilt his head from one side to the other. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out more than 90 degrees. Up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got this butterfly ring between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion, and cover the large gap that would be there. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows. His wrist can rotate, and it's hinged. Ball joint his torso, rotate around, forward and back a lot. Another one is waist, rotate around, forward and back. Between the two, very good at range of motion. A little bit too much in the torso, I'd say. Legs complete as a splits, McFarlane style hip joints. Rotation is minimal. Legs go forward about that far, to the side a little bit more, back not much. Double jointed knees. Then his ankle, forward and back. Rotate, tilt, rock, and of course, to articulation. Here's a look at the ghost of General Zod walking through a graveyard. Not exactly the Phantom Zone, but appropriate for the ghost of Zod. A closer look at the ghost of General Zod walking through the cemetery. And then here's a look at the ghost of General Zod walking through the cemetery in moonlight, utilizing the glow-in-the-dark features. Pretty cool. Now let's check them out next to some other action figures, starting off with some other General Zod figures. Here's the ghost of General Zod next to the regular General Zod figure. I believe this is based off the Rebirth comics. I said earlier, I prefer a more traditional Zod. Well, if you're like me, that's available also. McFarlane did make both a regular version and an unpainted artist-proof Platinum Chase version of General Zod. And although this new Ghost of Zod doesn't have a Platinum Chase, there is an upcoming sketch line art version. Here he is, next to a couple of Mattel General Zod figures from Man of Steel. I actually got a bunch of these General Zod figures for pretty cheap. I used them as sort of his army of Kryptonians from Man of Steel or the Flash movie. Here are all of my different General Zod figures. 2 by Mattel, 3 by McFarlane. There's a couple by DC Direct that I don't have, and there's an upcoming third-party one that I haven't pre-ordered and looking forward to getting. Here's a look at General Zod next to Beast Boy. I'm telling you, it looks like Beast Boy's dad. Here's Beast Boy's older, bigger brother. He's definitely on the football team. Then, when his cousins go over to hang out. Now let's check him out next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here he is, next to the rest of his wave. This is the Page Puncher wave, Superman Ghost of Krypton. We have both the regular and the Platinum Chase Armored Zod, the Armored Superman, Ghost of General Zod, and then the Platinum and regular versions of Brainiac. And don't forget, there is a 4-pack with the line art sketch versions of each and every one of these figures. Here he is, next to the Target exclusive Cassandra Cain Batgirl and Rival. And here he is, next to the most recent Batman wave. We have both the red and Platinum Chase blue versions of Azrael in his Batman armor, the black and gray Nightfall Batman, and both the regular and Platinum Chase versions of the first appearance Detective Comics 27 Batman. Then, next to the JLA wave, Collector-Built Plastic Man, we have both the blue and Platinum Chase red versions of Superman, two fully assembled versions of Plastic Man, Black Suit Batman, regular Platinum Chase John Stewart Green Lantern, and the regular and Platinum Chase Aquaman. And now, with the digital wave, we have the Silver Age Hal Jordan Green Lantern, the DC Rebirth Batman, and the DC Classics Aquaman. Here he is, next to the Amazon exclusive Kilowog and Kyle Rayner Green Lantern 2-pack. And finally, next to the Walmart exclusive Wally West Flash and Vampire Nightwing. Now let's check him out, next to some action figures from different various companies, so we can see how he fits in, both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which ones you can mix them with. Since he's a McFarlane toy, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start with my comparisons with some of the large action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. But first, let's check him out with some of his McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. And now, with some Jack-specific wrestling figures, and some DST or Diamond Select toys. Here he is, next to a pair of scissors. And here he is, with some DC Direct and NECA figures. Then, with both some Mattel and Jazzwares wrestling figures. And now, with some Mezco and Mattel DC figures. Next, with some Mafex and Hasbro Marvel Legends. And finally, here he is, next to some SH Figure Arts and some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. So overall, it's a pretty cool figure. It looks very interesting, very unique, but I don't really need a Phantom version or Ghost of General Zod in my collection. It's visually a very cool release, but one I will probably very seldomly be using. I do prefer a more traditional General Zod, that's just the kind of guy I am. I imagine most people are like that, but it is a cool figure. I can't deny that. The glow-in-the-dark feature is awesome. The sculpt and paint job are excellent. The armor, the face, the body, the sort of, I don't know, zombie-ish, ghost, dead-looking appearance, very well done. His accessories, a bunch of hands, which are kind of pointless because he's just a Phantom version of General Zod. He doesn't need a bunch of different hand options. No traditional accessories. His sculpt paint job, like I said, excellent. Articulation is everything you'd expect from a modern McFarlane DC Multiverse figure. If I were to rate this guy, it's a hard choice. First thought's a 6.5, but he does look really good, so I'm going to bump that up to a 7. It's a nice figure. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything you want to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll talk to you guys real soon.